Hey guys, it's Pearl here, and I'm going to tell you the 25 books I want to read in 2025. Starting with Dark Blood Academy by J.K. D. Rosa. It's actually about a young woman who discovers her supernatural heritage and must navigate a world of magic and danger, all while trying to resist the charms of her forbidden instructor. The next book on my list is actually from one that I actually watched for the TV series. It's by Anne Rice, called The Witching Hour, and it's about a brilliant neurosurgeon who revives a man with mystical powers, uncovering her witch ancestry and an ancient evil. Then the third on my list is The School for Good and Evil, One True King by Salman. I don't know how to pronounce his last name though, but I added that to my list since I'm currently on the third book right now, and I actually really like the series so far. Okay, now for my fourth book, it's Vengeance of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. I actually read the first two books, and I've had the first book on my TBR for the longest time, and I stopped reading. I don't remember when, but I just recently this year got back into reading. So now I'm trying to finish that series, and I'm not going to finish it this year because I'm already reading a few other books at the same time. And then for my fifth book, it's Tarnsman of Gore by John Norman. That's been on my list for the longest time. There's 38 books in the series. I would put the last one on there, but I don't know if I'm going to actually like this book. I have a physical copy in my bookshelf, but I don't feel like getting it out. It's very thin though, but it's a book about like slavery and females on this planet that are supposed to serve the men. And then for my sixth book, it's called Sons of Saul by Kevin R. McNally. He is the actor from Pirates of the Caribbean as Gibbs, Jack Sparrow's crewmate. And I actually didn't know he wrote books, and he was one of my reasons for wanting to go to Tampa Bay Comic Con. So when I found out at his panel that he wrote a book, and that he said he would sign it and do anything you want for buying his book, I asked if he would take a picture for me because it was only a $10 difference, and he ended up taking a picture with me, and he signed the book and he gave it to me. So this is what it looks like. I'm gonna have to get another copy for this, but this is what his signature looks like. So, once I get another copy, I'm definitely going to read this. His picture's on the back of here, which he looks a little bit younger and different than in Pirates of the Caribbean. This is a sci-fi book, and I'm trying to read more sci-fi since I actually like watching that kind of stuff. Now for my seventh book, it's called City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. I've actually started the series. I'm not quite sure where I was left off when I stopped reading, but I'm trying to get through the Mortal Instruments first, because I have another book, City of Lost Angels, I think, which is part of, I think, the Clockwork Infernal or something like that. She has too many different series. I'd have to look that back up to see which different ones, but I want to try and get through the Mortal Instruments first. And then for my eighth book, it's The Mistborn, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I added it to my list because I saw when I was looking at other YouTubers and recommendations for books to read since I've gotten back into reading, that a lot of people had Brandon Sanderson on their list. And this one is about a brilliant thief recruits a ragtag crew to pull off the ultimate heist, overthrowing an immortal godlike ruler who has reigned for a millennium. For my ninth book, it's called The Devils by Joe Abercrombie, and it comes out on May 13th. of next year. So that book looks like it's a fantasy book and about elves, but with a twist to it, because I guess they're hungry for flesh, which seems kind of different than what I've actually seen for like elves anime and stuff like that. So I think I might be interested in that. And then for my 10th book, it's another new release that comes out January 28th of next month. And it looks like it's about high school sweethearts, which is not normally something I read, but I'm going to give it a shot anyway. The 11th book on my list is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. For my 12th book, it'll be Belladonna Donna by Adeline Grace. And then for 13, I put One for My Enemy by Olivia Blake. And then 14, I have Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna, which I've actually also watched the series for, and that's why I added it to this list. And then the next one I have for number 15 is It Ends With Us by Colin Hoover. And since I watched the movie, I put that one on my list because I actually enjoyed the movie and I didn't know it was a book, as well as Firefly Lane. For number 16, I actually put A Layer of Bones by Helen. It's about a daughter of criminals competes in a deadly tournament for a chance to rule the magical, music-powered layer she's been long restricted from. Now, for number 17, it's called 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I actually added that to my list because I haven't been able to get through the show because I kind of relate to it a little bit, or maybe a bit, but I'm wondering if the book is easier to get through, so I'm giving that a try. For number 18, I have The Goddess and the Hawk. For number 19, I have Empire of the Vampire by Jay Kristoff. And I'm actually trying to look for more vampire books because I like the Vampire Diaries. Not the TV series. I like the books better because there were so many things done better in the books. But I'm trying to give more vampire books a try. For number 20, I have The Ever King by L.J. Andrews. It's about a Viking king who kidnaps his enemy's innocent daughter, plotting revenge, but finds himself unexpectedly captivated by her. And since I actually like Vikings, and I've gotten into a few Viking shows, but I haven't actually finished them, I feel like this one would be one that I actually enjoy the most. Number 21 on my list is Dead Girls Can't Tell Secrets by Chelsea. I actually added this because of the cover, and it reminds me of the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson. So I think it'll be one that I like. Next on my list is the Stephen King portion of my list. So since I have never actually read a Stephen King book, I actually decided to add a couple of his, and I don't know many horror authors, since I don't think I've ever actually read a horror book. So if you know any other horror authors, can you put in the comments which ones that I should be reading? But anyway, the 22nd one on my list is Night Shift by Stephen King. And then for 23, I had added Fairy Tale by him. And 24, since it was actually on Goodreads that it was rated as a favorite book for 2024 horror, You Like It Darker is on my list for that reason. And then for 25, it's actually a new release that's coming out next year, Never Flinch by, obviously, Stephen King. But I do want more recommendations for horror if anybody has any, because I have not been reading as much as I used to in the past, and I'm just getting back into it. So I only know Stephen King as a horror author. I've mostly read fantasy and murder type of ones and thrillers in the past. Also, thanks for tuning into my channel.